Hello and welcome to Drishti IAS English. I am Aisha, and in today's episode we will be discussing about the topic of how to start your preparation for prelims 2025. As we all know that the UPSC Civil Services examination is conducted in 3 phases. So first is prelims, second is mains, and third is personality test, that is popularly known as interview. So in this segment, we will be discussing more about the prelims, that how to start your preparation for prelims 2025, as this is the first stage of going into the examination. And if you are someone who is a fresher and is going into the preparation, then this video is surely for you, because we will be talking about very basic things, that what you need to do or what you need to be aware about before starting your preparation. So let us look at what we will be discussing. So we will be looking and talking about the syllabus, then previous year questions, trend analysis and cutoff, and what is the importance of these 4 aspects and why is it important for you to know about it before starting your preparation, so you can delve deeper into the preparation and can know about that what is important and what is not important. So first of all, let us talk about the aspect of syllabus. So syllabus is one of the most important point that an aspirant needs to know, and this is a point which almost every aspirant in the starting of his or her preparation tends to ignore or does not pay much attention towards it. So UPSC preparation is basically in the starting is about knowing its syllabus, and this is one of the very you can say popular mistake which almost everyone makes in starting of the preparation, that not paying attention towards the syllabus, as it is the syllabus of the UPSC which tells us that what the UPSC is looking for and what the UPSC will be asking in the examination. So here we will be talking about the syllabus for the prelims examination of UPSC CSE, and it is divided into 2 parts, that is paper 1 and paper 2. As we all know, prelims consist of 2 papers. Paper 1 is the general studies paper and paper 2 is the aptitude paper that is popularly known as the CSAT, and CSAT is a qualifying paper, while paper 1, that is GS paper, is merit based. So let us first of all talk about part A, that is paper 1. So paper 1 consists of 200 marks and the duration is for 2 hours. Now let us see what the syllabus talks about. So first of all, it talks about current events of national and international importance. It means it is saying that current affairs of national and international current affairs, both are important. Then history of India, Indian national movement. So first it was current affairs, second it is history, national movement, India and Indian national movement, and you will see that in prelims the Indian national movement specifically is very well covered. Many questions have been asked in the previous years. So and the syllabus is very specifically writing this word, Indian national movement. Then comes the Indian and world geography. So it is talking about both, that India's geography and world geography. And world geography is one aspect which within the geography subject people tend to ignore. And within the Indian and world geography, it is physical, social, economic of India and the world. So do not restrict yourself only to the geography of India. The syllabus is very well talking about that the world geography is very important. Then comes Indian polity and governance. It is writing the word governance in the prelims syllabus. So governance word is there. Do not only talk about it from the mains perspective. So Indian polity and governance, it is talking about constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policy, rights, issues, etc. etc. It means that not only this, many other things also. So etc. word becomes important. So it means whatever is being taught to you, like for example, if fundamental rights is not written here, DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policies, is not written here, does not mean it is not coming. It is written etc. So Indian polity and governance. Then comes economic and social development. Economic and social development, that is sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, social sector initiatives, and again it is written etc. So this becomes important from economy perspective. So every single thing, like for example, whenever you go and see the PYQs, I will be also be talking about it. Whenever you will see the PYQs, there are few aspects from the economy perspective that you will always find in the examination. Like for example, inflation, like for example, monetary policy, like for example, world institutions, like for example, the FDI, FPI, so etc. Then comes the topic of general issues and environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change that do not require subject specialization. It means environment and ecology, and very specifically it is talking about climate change and biodiversity. And biodiversity is one that aspect of climate and ecology subject which you will find in the examination. Then comes general science. So general science, it can have questions from physics, from chemistry, from biology. So all these things becomes important, and going by the syllabus is what we are seeing. So be very specific with every single word which is written in the syllabus. Then comes the syllabus of paper 2, that is popularly known as CSAT. 200 marks, duration is 2 hours. That is comprehension. Then interpersonal skills including communication skills. So it is given, the word communication is given. Logic, reasoning and analytical ability. It means logic and reasoning. Then decision making and problem solving. Decision making is written in the syllabus. Then general mental ability. Basic numeracy. That is numbers and their relations, origin of magnitude, etc. That is class 10th level. Then data interpretation, which includes charts, graphs, tables, data sufficiency, that is class 10th level. So it is given that that will be of class 10th level. Then paper 2, that is CSAT paper, is a qualifying paper and you need 33% to qualify it. Then the questions will be of multiple choice, objective type. Then it is mandatory for the candidate to appear in both the papers of civil services examination. Then a candidate will be disqualified in case he or she does not appear in both the paper. So that it does not mean that if a person or an aspirant is sitting for only for paper 1 and is not standing for paper 2, and if the person has given only paper 2 and has not given paper 1, so that person will be disqualified, that the candidature will not be accepted. So this was about the syllabus. Next comes the PYQs, that is the previous year questions. So I will be giving you few of the examples that how the patterns have changed, how the questions are being asked, and what is the pattern in the last 3 years. But what becomes important for you to know about the PYQs, so that whenever you will be reading any topic, you must be knowing in your head that what the examination is asking, what is the need of the examination, what you need to read, and how you need to read. Now how you need to read becomes very important, and how you need to read you will only understand it when you will know about the previous year questions, because the previous year questions will tell you that which topic is important, what kind of question the UPSC is asking, what is the pattern of the UPSC, and what has been the trend of the UPSC. As we just discussed the syllabus, now let us talk about the previous year questions. Like for example, now imagine if there is a topic called fundamental rights. Now fundamental rights is a huge topic. By going through the previous year questions, you will know that what is being asked from the fundamental rights. It is not that complete fundamental right is being asked. You need to be very aware and very clear about what are the topics on which you need to pay more attention and what are the topics on which you need to pay less attention. So let us see few of the examples of previous year questions. So that is, see, consider the following statements. There are 4 statements given and the question is asking how many of the above statements are correct. Now this pattern of only one, only 2, only 3 or all 4. This earlier it was not there in the paper of 2024-2023. It has majorly been seen, and it was the year 2022. Since then this type of questions are being asked, and this type of questions becomes difficult for a person to answer because the elimination method do not work here. You need to be very specifically clear about each and every sentence in these type of questions, because it is asking how many, and it is asking out of 4, is it only 1 which is correct, only 2 which is correct, only 3 which is correct. So this becomes important. So these are the these are the type of questions which raises the difficulty level of the paper. Now let us look at another example. Like for example, see this. Consider the following statements, then statement 1, statement 2. So statement 1, statement 2, and this asks that which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Then both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Now what happens? There are two statements. So first statement is there, second statement is there. Now this says, earlier if you will go to the times of 90s when the UPSC was asking these type of questions, in between UPSC did not ask these type of questions, and in the last 2 to 3 years you will see that these type of questions are now increasing in number in the prelims examination. And what becomes important is that people do not practice it much. People do not practice it much, and that is why when they are attempting the paper for the very first time and they see the paper for the very first time, it becomes difficult for them to answer these questions because they are not used to answering it. And this also requires very well knowledge of both the statements, because it is saying that whether statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1 or not. And for knowing the explanation, you must be aware about the concept. So this is also one of the type of question in which has come up in the recent past. That is, when I say recent past, it means last 2 to 3 years. Now let us look at another type of questions. Consider the following trees. So there are 3 type of trees given, like jackfruit, mahua, teak. How many of the above are deciduous trees? How many? It is again asking how many. Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. So here the elimination technique will not appear, or you will not be able to eliminate any of the option. You need to be very well aware about that how many are deciduous trees, be it jackfruit, mahua or teak. If you know very well, clearly know that 2 are true, 1 is wrong, then only you will be able to answer this. Let us see other questions. Like for example, now let me give you a example of that how a question can be asked or solved through the elimination method, one of the most popular methods of the UPSC. So the Constitution 71st Amendment Act 1992 amends the 8th schedule to the Constitution to include which of the following languages? It is talking about the 8th language of the Constitution. Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali or Maithili. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Now here, how many is not being asked? The codes are given. 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 3 and 4, 2, 3 and 4. Now this talks about that if you know something, you can eliminate few of the options also. And the earlier one, it was asking how many, so you could not eliminate. But in this, because the codes are given, you can eliminate something. Like for example, this is just an example which I am giving it to you. So it is asking 8th schedule, which of the following languages? Now you know that Konkani is there, Manipuri is there, Maithili is there, Nepali is not there. Now you know that third is not there. So first look at the options in which third is given. So third is given in option A, it will be eliminated. Third is given in option C, it will be eliminated. Third is given in option D, it will be eliminated. In which option third is not given? That is option B. So automatically you will reach to the answer, that is option B. Now let us look at few of more questions. Now this is also one of the pattern, that is on one side the options are given, while on the other side their representative options are given, and these type of questions are also increasing. And if we will see 2023 paper, then these type of questions have increased in number. Like for example, consider the following pairs. On one side party is given, on other side its leader, like Bharatiya Jan Sangh, Socialist Party, Congress for Democracy, Swatantra Party. The question is asking how many of the above are correctly matched. It means match the following. How many are correctly matched? So if any of the person knows the answer exactly, that Bharatiya Jan Sangh, whether Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee is its leader or not, Socialist Party C. Rajagopalachari, Congress for Democracy Jagjeevan Ram, Swatantra Party Acharya Narendra Dev. And how many? Again the word how many. It means only 1, only 2, only 3, all 4. Now let us talk about few more questions. So one of the example is consider the following statements. There are 3 statements given and the question is asking which of the statements given above are correct. Now again the code is given, that is 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So in these type of questions, the elimination technique will work. Now what is my purpose of telling you this is that when you will look at the PYQ questions, a picture will form into your mind that how you need to move forward. What are the trends of the question? What are the types of the question? What is the framework of the question? What are the guidelines given in the question? Because different type of questions you need to be aware about. Only then you will be able to attempt the questions. Because see, what we do in our basic day-to-day life, and when you are studying, in starting of the day, you prepare a timetable that how you're going to spend your complete day, what subject you will be studying, what will be the time slot that you will be studying in one go, what are the time when you will be taking breaks, your sleeping time, and everything. You prepare a chart and then you follow it. So in the starting, you're preparing a chart so that you can schedule your complete day. So the PYQs will work exactly like the chart when you will see it, because then you will be able to know what the UPSC is asking, how the UPSC is asking. This was about PYQ. Now let us know about the trend analysis. Trend analysis tells you that which subject is important, from which subject more number of questions are being asked, and from which subject you need to pay more attention, and which are the subjects which you can actually pay less attention, and which are the subjects you can pay more attention. Like for example, in prelims, the subject from which more number of questions are being asked, you tend to pay more attention towards it. Like for example, if there is a subject from which the 15-16 questions are being asked, while on the other hand there is a subject from which 2 to 3 questions are being asked, so the subject from where the 15-16 questions are being asked becomes important for you to read, because that is a subject which you cannot afford to ignore. So let us see. So we have taken 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24, that how many questions have been asked from each subject. Now let us know. So first of all, let us talk about Indian history and national movement. When we talk about Indian history, it includes art and culture, ancient, medieval, post-independence and independence. So 2016, 16 question, 2017, 13, 22, 16, 19, 21, 16, 13. In the year 2024, the relevance of history, or the number of questions from history went down, and it was around 9 to 10 questions. But if we will see, on an average, more than 15 questions have been asked from history. So just on the basis of 1 year paper, do not judge that the number of questions from history will be less. On an average, it has always been 15 or more than 15. It is just 2024 that the number of questions was less. Now let us talk about Indian Constitution and polity, that is 6, 22, 13, 15, 18, 17, 12, 14 and 19. So 2024 it was 19. Indian polity is one of the subjects like history from which the average number of questions has always been more than 15 or 15. Then comes geography of India and world. 3, 8, 9, 8, 13, 12, 15, 20, 16. So if you will see, till 2019 the number of questions from geography was coming very less. And after 2019, the relevance of geography has increased. Earlier it was in single digits, now it is in double digits. And the geography is something which earlier people was paying less attention, but in the last 2 to 3 years, the relevance of geography has increased. So do not tend to keep it aside. Then environment, ecology and biodiversity. 16, 17, 10, 19, 14, 17, 20, 10 and 12. So the question from environment and ecology is around 10 to 12. Then comes Indian economy. Then that is 15, 29, 22, 20, 21, 15, 18, 18, 18. 2024 it was around 18. Indian economy, the relevance has increased and it has been more than 15, 16, 17. So you can say around 16 to 17 questions are being asked. Then general science and technology. 7, 3, 14, 15, 12, 14, 16, 12 and 2024 it was around 10. So science and technologies, you can say that around 8 to 9 questions are being asked. Then comes current affairs. So current affairs is a topic on which people pay much attention, but you also need to see that the amount of time you are giving to it, whether you are getting it back anything in return or not. So current affairs has been 37, 8, 10, 7, 3, 4, 3, 13 and then in the year 2024 it was around 15 to 16. So the questions in from current affairs have been in the range of 15 to 16 on the basis of just one single year when the number of questions spiked. Do not judge that the number of questions from current affairs are being asked way higher as compared to the other subjects. The core subjects are the thing which you need to be very aware about. That is history, polity, you can say economy, and these are the subjects from which continuously more than 15 questions are being asked. So overall, these are the core subjects which makes the base of your preparation, and then add it on with current affairs, and that is how you will do well. So these are the things from where the main subjects from where the number of questions are being asked. Then comes last, and that is the cutoff for last 5 years, that is 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23. So if we will see that the cutoff in 2019 was 98, 2020 92.51, 2021 87.54, 2022 it was 88.22, 2023 it is 75.41. So by looking at the cutoff, you will come to know that how the things are being done and what are the numbers that you need to qualify for the examination. Do not stick to the cutoff. Aim actually 10 to 15 marks way higher than the cutoff, because cutoff keeps on varying. But looking at the cutoff, you will know a broader area that okay, this is the range on which you need to score. Like for example, looking at this cutoff, you will know that you need to aim at the range of around getting 100 marks, so that you can qualify the merit on the basis of cutoff. So cutoff actually tells that how the things are being performed at the main stage. So this was about cutoff. So in the end, we have discussed all the 4 aspects, that is syllabus, previous year questions, trend analysis and cutoff. And these are the 4 basic things that you need to know before entering into your preparation full-fledged. You need to be very well aware about the basic things which makes this examination even more special, and these are few of the basic things. So I hope that by going through this video, you will be able to know that what you need to be very clear about and what are the things that you need to pay more focus on. So this was all from this video. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.